Hello there. So, I've played a bit too much of Monster Hunter. Hey, look at that time. Look at that time. I may have played a little too much. Now, I probably could have done 100% if I was being more more efficient with my time, but I was having fun enjoying every aspect of the game. So, oopsies. I'm sorry I'm not good at grinding. But yeah, I want to go talk about the weapons now. I mean, I do want to talk about the monsters too, but first off, weapons, and we start off with the big boy, the greatsword, the mascot of the series. So, oops. Oh, did I freaking? Starting off strong, but yeah. I thought I'm such a dumb. But yeah. I'm working on getting all the weapons. Working on it. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. And some of them change up the freaking play styles a bit. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And of course, the monsters that you fight with each weapon also change up like how the weapons feel. Also, having headsets on. Definitely makes you enjoy the sounds of the weapons more. Because I don't hear this weighty sound when I'm playing on normally. So, oh, that sounds so nice. Definitely use headsets if you're playing this game. But yeah. I may like giant two-handed swords. I feel like the first game that I love to play that had a giant sword in it was Power Stone 2, and there was a weapon called the Dragon Slayer. Yes, it's the same weapon as from Berserk. You literally just play as using the greatsword. So you're using Guts' sword in Power Stone, and it was like my favorite like side weapon to use. So I do like myself a giant sword from time to time. Now in Monster Hunter, like, it's the mascot for a reason. Like, all the weapons are oversized and you're meant for like smacking the big monsters. And then what weapon does that more than any other weapon? The greatsword. So yeah, there's a reason why it starts you off with it. It's also very simple. It forces you to like pay attention to what the monster's actually doing. But you have a guard. Freaking nice. I'm not used to using guards yet, so I'm not used to that, because most video games, I'm used to dodging things, because the first games I grew up with, you get hit once, you're dead. You die 3 times, you have to start from the very beginning of the game. That's a lot different from Monster Hunter. You're expected to get smacked around a little bit, because you're not going to know everything that the monster's going to do. Which is why it's really nice that this has a tackle. And then in this game, you can just go into like doing it again. And that's pretty much the main gist of this weapon. Charge. If you mess up, tackle. And then just continue doing your charges until you just smack the enemy. Very fun. And I love seeing people use the greatsword. But the greatsword, it's not for me. We'll get to what the other weapons are like. But like, I feel like other weapons play off of like what the greatsword is doing. And they go a bit more into like what I like. So it may be good for other people, but for me, nah. Now, the longsword, also a weapon where you have to pay attention to the monsters, but it's for a different reason. Frickin', you got parries. And another parry. It's kind of dumb. And then you have the frickin' spirit gauge mechanic, and I love that they added this move, because while this is fun from time to time and much easier because of the focus mode in this game, I liked using this thing a lot more. It just looks so cool. And the red gauge, made it so much better. By the way, I did start off in World, so It's a bit different from playing the old generation. I played Generations Ultimate recently, and the weapons all feel different from World and from Wilds. And Wilds and World already feel very different from each other. But at least World keeps it mostly the same. Wilds is completely different. But yeah, the Crimson Slash is pretty fun. Let's see. Yeah, I love that flippy move. I've never used it, but... And of course, you got the Helm Splitter. I'm surprised that hit, but yes. That's basically the weapon in a nutshell. And it's very fun. That's faster than I remember. Maybe it's because I'm looking at a bigger screen. Because I'm in VR, so it's like, boom! Whereas it's just usually like about like this big normally. So, wah! Like, if it was in real life, it would take up the whole room. So, yeah. Very fun weapon. I can see why it's the most popular frickin' weapon in the whole series, basically. So, yeah. So, with our two sword boyos... Oh, why did I exit that out? I'm a dumb... But yeah, with the two sword boyos out of the way... main swords, I say. Now, this is not like a meta tier list based off of like how good they are, because that'll change from patch to patch, and no one's played long enough to actually know the in-depth like how good they are. This is just for fun, how much I like to have fun playing them. I feel like I'll probably enjoy the longsword more. Only problem is I don't know if I'll ever play it because there's other weapons I prefer over it. So I think I'll probably put these down a tiny bit because I can enjoy I can go through a whole playthrough of these weapons and I would probably enjoy it. But there's other weapons that do similar things that I prefer a little bit more. Now, speaking of a weapon that does things similar to others, Sword and Shield does absolutely everything. It is ridiculous. So let me go grab it out. Bah. But yeah, because you have a sword and a shield, so you have slashing and blunt. So that's already really good. Oh yeah, by the way, I am using a controller for all of this, so that will bias like how I feel about certain weapons, especially the ranged ones. And then, where's the Rathalos ones? I can't see it that well. It's probably this one. Whatever. Not that it really matters too much. I'm just showing off like what they generally are. But yeah, I gotta use this one. I gotta use the one that's in Smash. Because the Rathalos equipment and frickin' equipment and the monster itself is like the most recognizable thing in the entire series, and they use it in promotional stuff and collaborations all the frickin' time. So I'm used to this, even though like even before I played Monster Hunter, like I've gotten used to Rathalos so much, and his theme is stuck, drilled into my brain before I even started playing. So yeah. Anyways, Sword and Shield. In the previous games, it felt a little like stuck in place. It's like, yeah, you can move around a lot, but you still feel like you're stuck in place a little bit. Wilds, however, you can slide non-stop. Positioning is not a problem. This is stupid. And then you have focus, which makes you turn around the monster very easily. It is ridiculous. And then you got the blunt, and I thought this would just be very weak, but then I looked at the values for like the hammer, and then compared it with the shield, and the shield is on par with the hammer. It is stupid because, yes, the hammer does hit harder with the stuff, and that's like the entire point of the hammer, is to do stuns, but like this, it does a ton of exhaust and ton of stamina, but you can do it so much faster, and it's so much safer. So I feel like this is probably the best weapon for doing like stuns and exhaust at the same time. Because the hammer has very low exhaust compared to stun, whereas this is just high in both of them. Absolutely ridiculous. And then all that I just did right now is stupidly easy. You just press buttons and you just move around. Easy. But if you want to actually make it a little bit better, you got the perfect rush. Oh, whoops. I'm pressing wrong buttons. Oh yeah, and then you time it right, which I'm not going to do because I don't know the timings right now. Also, I am lagging a little bit, but hopefully that won't show. But yeah, you can time those if you feel like it. It doesn't do a whole lot more damage if you time it, but it does help a little bit. And it's really fun. And then you got this jumping move, which is always nice. You gotta love the jumping moves. Bam. And that does tons of damage and tons of exhaust if you're hitting the head. And then you can just do the bash or that. It's just like, but you want to know something funny? It has like an extremely high like values for mounting things. So it's actually on par with the insect glaive for mounting things. This weapon is absolutely ridiculous. And it's fun because like you get to move around as much as you want, and you get to do it very safely. And then on top of that, you can use items while the weapon is out. And then even if that wasn't the case, look how fast like this thing can like sheath stuff. It's almost instant. I mean, oh yeah, that's right. I do have quick sheath on. Never mind. But still, I forgot I had that on. Whoopsies. But yeah. It doesn't even really matter too much because it's so freaking fast. God damn it. I swear I got sleep today. Anyways, so with that said though, that makes this weapon the best for using Mushromancy, which is something I got absolutely addicted to. It's like the only like skill gems that like affect like how you play outside of like reducing knockback and such. So I have been addicted to Mushromancing. And that's why I have Quick Sheath on, so I can constantly give mushrooms to everybody. But like the Sword and Shield is always going to be the best for Mushromancing. That said though, there's a weapon that I view kind of similarly to the Sword and Shield that I prefer over it. Which is why it will probably never be like the top dog for like what I prefer. But like, I could definitely see an alternate timeline where I might main it. There's a reason why Joe Cat keeps on harping on about the Sword and Shield. You can do everything. I could see myself maining this. I could see myself doing that. So, next, Dual Blades, which is one of my friends' like mains. Oh yeah, I mean a bunch of people main the Great Sword, so I don't even need to mention that. But there's one, the person that I got Wilds for to go play with them. They main Dual Blades. Fun weapon. Very fun. I prefer Sword and Shield, but this is still fun, and it still is very different from Sword and Shield. Actually, I think I'll put it there. It's definitely more fun than Longsword for me. But yeah, I like speed. I'm going to be a little biased towards the faster weapons because I like being able to position and such. Let's see. Bap. Why is my thing not messing up? Whatever. Anywho, Dual Blades. Bird Bro. Come hither. I love this. You got the fastest movement speed. You have no flinching going on when you have this mode. And then it is one of my favorite wound attacks. I may have been biased a little bit towards this weapon because when I was doing the 10 hunts, 9 of them were against Jin Jihad. So, biggest monster in the game. Very long. Yeah, that's kind of fun, just spamming that. And then recently, I was just trying to do some low rank quests just to finish things off, and I was just spamming the freaking wound system because I had the flare set on. So it's just non-stop spinning around the monster in this game. It's like, yeah, you could do other things, but the wounds pop up so frequently. That said, though, I feel like it's going to change when they get to tougher monsters, because tougher monsters don't let you get wounds as much, and the wounds heal. And it's also a problem because some people are very hungry for wounds. If you have a bowman on your side, they're going to eat all the wounds before you have any chance to do anything, whether they're trying to or not, because they're going to be using tracer rounds, most likely, in the arc shot. Unless if they're going like super meta, ultra try hard. In that case, they might just use the other things and never bother with like spamming Hailstorm. But Hailstorm does tons of damage. Now this weapon, like, it stays in place, unlike the sword and shield. But that's what the B moves are for. At least the first one. But yeah, it's definitely helpful. And it is fun to manage that stamina bar up top, so... I'm sorry, it's just really fun. Is it the most complex thing? No. But I will say, it is a bit more committal than I thought it was, but it's still very fast. And the damage you do, oh my god. I killed a monster in like a minute and 30 seconds one time. It's just like, the damage on this thing is ludicrous. Granted, that was low rank, but still. And then, yeah. Did I do that yet? Did I put it up there? I don't think I did. Okay, I did. I kind of want to move it up because I kind of got lost. I got a little lost in the sauce there for a bit. There. So next, we got the blunt weapons. I don't know which one I like. I do like Olivia's hammer though. She kicked some booty. I like it when NPCs actually are able to do stuff. They feel a little strong though in this game. You do still have to do damage. And then I've been using the frickin' arc-filled thing a lot because Mushroomancing, using healing in wide range, all my potions heal people, and then you get the attack buff and the defense. Wait, I'm supposed to be talking about hammer. But yeah, we'll get to the hunting horn. We'll get to the hunting horn. Hammer though, hammer is still really freaking fun. Cause you know how I said greatsword, I prefer other weapons? I prefer the hammer. I get to do the charge and do big numbers, but I can be mobile as well. Yes, I lose the guard, but schmack. And then you got schmack, schmack. Crazy damage. Absolutely crazy damage. Absolutely absurd. And then one thing I found out recently is how do I do that again? Oh yeah, this one. Boom. That's the one that does like tons of exhaust and stun, if I remember right. Boom. Absolutely, I love it. Now, this weapon does have an offset like the greatsword, but it's in the middle of its combo, and you can hold it a little bit, which is nice. So I feel like you could spam the heck out of it. Fun fact though, last patch they nerfed it from 150 on that to 100, and I'm just like, but stunning the monster is like the entire point of the hammer. Why are they nerfing that? Which I thought was very strange, but yeah. This weapon's just stupid fun. You just get to smack, smack, smack. And it's very low committal, but while that's just talking about it, when you actually go and play, it's so hard not to be greedy for the big damage. Boom. That's pretty safe, this move. It still is kind of committal, but it's pretty safe. And then Big Bang, the more you do, the slower they get and the more damage they do. But oh my gosh, it's so fun. Bop. Oh yeah, very fun. But you probably already guessed it by now. I prefer this weapon for being able to stun. I have now learned, after looking at data and such, it's more about exhausting than stunning, because this one has like the highest exhaust values of all the weapons, which makes sense. It's a support weapon, so you want to slow down the monster. So I now love this weapon more for that, because I'm playing Monster Hunter specifically for friends. So I'm going to be biased towards the supposed support weapon. That said, though, these frickin' bubbles let you do so much more damage. So you can actually wreck things when you're playing solo. Just lead the monster into a place where it'll just stay there for a bit, and then just keep on smacking stuff. Now, kind of slow. Big weapon, kind of slow, expected. But now you do that, you're one of the fastest weapons in the freaking game. I freaking love it. I love the buffed move speed, and it makes such a huge difference every time. So, unlike just having a weapon where you're just always fast, I don't feel it that much. But when you bring it out, you're all slow and then you buff, then I feel the speed difference. It makes me love the weapon so much more. I am addicted to buffs, so very fun. And then you got like all your songs up there, and you can just do the notes. And one thing that I thought you had to do back in World, when people were like scaring me away from the weapon for being so hard and everything, they're like, it's the hardest thing. So I thought it would run out of time eventually, or like you have to do it in mid combo. But no, it just stays up there the entire time. So that's actually not so bad. And then another thing is, boom. Oh dang. But yeah, I gotta say, it sort of makes me feel like I'm playing Greatsword, but I can actually run fast. Because those swings are like the little pokes that I do with Greatsword whenever I've used it. And then this is like trying to do a charged attack. Because that's a long frickin' time to be doing something. And it's like a very strong move too. But every time you do something like that, like you're also buffing your team. And then all these buffs are like stupid strong. I'm mainly used to the end game buffs, so I don't know if it's as insane for like the earlier buffs. Because I mostly played solo on my first time. Also, you're so distracted by trying to do buffs that it's hard to pay attention to the monster. That's the one problem with this weapon, but it's also like the great thing about this weapon, because I view this as the team carry weapon. It is a very team-oriented weapon, so is in World, not so bad. You just gotta worry about doing the songs. But in this one, you gotta worry about timing all that stuff. And then you got the echo bubble placement to worry about. It's just so much harder. And then if you want to do the frickin' this, boom. You just gotta play a little mini game every frickin' time. It's not an easy weapon to pick up, and it's very distracting every time. Luckily, when you're doing the wound thing, you're basically invincible, so you can focus entirely on that, because you can't do anything. But doing this, it does take a lot of concentration to, like, time it right. Maybe if I get better, that won't be the case. maybe I'll just be so godlike at it that, like, it doesn't take any thought process at all. But I have about 200 hours in the game, and I'm still having to concentrate a lot. I don't know if it's like, I don't know how much I'm going to be playing this game. I don't think that's going to happen, especially if I take any breaks. So that's probably not going to happen. It's probably always going to be very distracting when you should be paying attention to the monster. Yeah, hunt the monsters. Pay attention to the monster. Stop focusing on your buffs and hit the monster. Also, I gotta say, when you're trying to, like, smack them on the head, they keep running. They keep running all the time. I just want to smack you in the head. And that's the other problem with, like, the hammer. Like, with all the blunt weapons, basically. Well, there's only two, but it's just trying to smack them in the head when they're just always running. All the other weapons, you can just hit wherever, and you'll still do damage. You still have, like, preferred areas because monsters have different, like, values and such, but, like, hammer and hunting horn, they want to smack the head. And unless if you're using luring pods or some sort of armor set to make them attack you, they're going to be running away from you constantly, and it's so annoying. But one thing about the hunting horn, though, is it has bubbles. Those bubbles are still going to do some decent damage. 18 for, like, one bubble. And if I smack directly... That was with a wound. That was a wound pop. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Maybe it's not as much. But, like, you can be really far away. So you'll still do some damage if they keep on running away from you. And if you stack them, you can get, like, 3 times that. So you're doing, like, half a swing worth of damage with each time you do that. And if you hit directly, oh, my God, the damage is kind of nutty. But, yeah. Very fun weapon. So, did I say everything about it? I feel like I probably didn't. The amount of concentration the hunting horn is insane. Again, I view it as the team carry weapon, but it was one of my go-tos. But I feel kind of forced to bring it because whenever I would fight one of the end game monsters, like, people die in one shot all the frickin' time. And if they don't die in one shot, they get 1-2 comboed. So I bring the defense buff constantly, and then I'm always ready to go pop, like, a mushroom or a potion to go heal people. Because, oh my God, the amount of times I've saved people from doing stuff. And there's been so many times I've tried to go, like, join randoms, and they all die all at the same time from one attack. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, like, the hunting horn is very, like, taxing on the mind, but, like, oh my God, it is really a huge team carry kind of weapon. But yeah, I'm gonna put that right up there, easily. It's almost like the new main. It was my main for, like, wilds because I was going to go support somebody, obviously, because I wanted to make sure they didn't have to worry about stamina when they're using dual blades. But I got kind of addicted to it anyways because I've played... It feels a lot like playing healers in MMORPGs or something like that. You're always focused on the buffs. Good time. But, like, it also feels like the greatsword because it's as slow as that. So, yeah. Hammer. Where do I put hammer? Is it on par with the dual blades? Ooh. I think just because you have to hit the head, it goes a slight bit down. They're very close because they're both close range weapons. They're both fast. But just because you have to hit the head, you have to chase the monster all the time. And you don't have a shield like some other things do. So we'll get to that. Oh, hey, who does have a shield? And the best one, the lance. So we'll get to the lance right now. But first, I have to go equip the lance. I haven't used the lance that much in this game, but in World, I was playing my main weapon, and then I got really annoyed. So I'm like, okay, I go pick something else out while I learn these monsters. Oh, that's right. I forgot I have that one. The other weapon that requires the commission ticket, like the Jaw Blade does, you get from the support ship. And then, bop. Hey, oops. I'm so dumb. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Gunlance. We'll get to the Gunlance later. But yeah. Lance. This weapon surprised me when I tried it out in World because it looks like the most boring basic weapon. You're doing the same thing over and over. But you gotta remember, you're fighting the monster. This weapon requires you to pay attention to the monster every single time because you got a counter. And then you got these quick attacks. And then you can counter pretty quickly. And then if the monster runs away, you charge. And that's the basic gist. And that makes it so it becomes one of the most hyper-aggressive weapons in the game. You are non-stop attacking. And if something's too high, you can always just poke it with a high thrust, which a lot of weapons struggle with. So, really freaking good. It does have a shield bash, but like compared to like other blunt attacks, it's very slow. I'm not sure the wound attack. Boom. I thought it was something different. I'm thinking of the mounted attack one. Right. But yeah, I haven't used the lance nearly enough. But yeah, this is a weapon that like I could see myself loving because I feel like I prefer this over the greatsword because this is another one requires to pay attention to the monster. But thing is with the greatsword is I don't like using greatsword on fast monsters, and then when things get tough, the fast monsters just feel really annoying to fight with the greatsword. Whereas the lance, you have a fast moveset. And I do love that triple jab. Really a great addition. Kind of committal though. But yeah. Oh yeah. I should probably mention, oops. Oh, whoops. Oh my god. One of the better weapons for mounting because of that attack. So anytime the monster tries to run, mount him. I freaking love this weapon. Is it going to be the most flashy thing ever? No. I think this is one of the least flashy, but this is one of the ones where it makes you feel like you're actually playing the game well. So I actually love the lance for that. It's a very different experience. Come here, boy. Now, the other lance. Now, the Gunlance, I tried in Worlds, and it is so slow. And you would take chip damage with the shield, even though it's so big and you're very slow, which was a big problem for anything that like does massive damage. But in this game, you have perfect guard, which I don't know if it makes you like take no damage from all attacks or if it's just a strong improvement. But like, you can actually go and tank things with the Gunlance and not die. Also, the movement was a problem, but now this helps so much for movement, though this one only has 3 shots. Most of the Gunlances I've tried only have 5, but these ones are much stronger. But, oh my god, I love the boom. But yeah, so you can have some decently fast. It feels a little slower than the regular lance, but it still feels good. But most things are a lot more committal. And then you can charge this if you feel like it. And it does damage. The nice thing is I don't have to worry about frickin' where I hit on the monster using shelling. So if I don't feel like bothering bouncing off with a dude, I can just do that. Though to be fair, like with the way that sharpness works, you can usually just get a sharp weapon and not have to worry about that with most weapons. But like this is one way where you can just be fine before you get like high sharpness weapons. Very fun. And then you got my favorite thing about this weapon. Oh, whoops. Bop. Charging, blam! I frickin' love that. But there's one thing about wilds. You can do it again. You can do it again. Now you can do that with a combo to make it faster, which I'll probably love if I use it more. But I love the long... Oh yeah, I'm pressing the wrong button. I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, you can do a combo, but I love the long charge time because it looks so powerful. And then lastly... Wait. That's so satisfying. I love the worm stake blasts. Explosions! Lots of explosions. Tanky weapon. I do love this weapon, but unlike the lance, if you have this out and they move somewhere, it kind of makes it hard to catch up with them. Because, yeah, you can go put it away. And that's with Quick Sheath 3 on. So you can't just do that and run to them. You can call them out, but it's not as fast as just doing the charge with the lance. So, with certain monsters, I feel that tremendously. So it's a bit of a problem. But, like, if I can get over that one thing, oh, I could get down with the Gunlance easily. So now, the next couple. The transforming weapons. I forgot which one I liked the most. Oh, whatever. Oops. I swear my brain is being dumb. Gunlance. Wait, charge blade, not Gunlance. We had the Gunlance. But yes. We'll get into the switch axe in just a moment. So first of all, bop. So, lance. It may be basic, but it makes me feel like I actually master the game. And it's like, I love that so much. God dang it, my camera. But yeah, God dang it. Stay. Alright, but yeah, lance makes me feel like I'm actually mastering the thing. Tackle, it's kind of funny because tackle makes me feel like I'm cheating the game a little bit because of the things that you can just tackle through. But you do take more damage from tackles than a greatsword, so it's probably better than the lance, but I like not taking damage at all. Get the lance, get the guard up, take no damage, counter everything. I love it. Gunlance. I kind of want to put it up here because I have a lot of mobile weapons, but I do like slow things as well. It's just, can I get over whenever monsters move out of the way just slightly? When they move long distances, not much of a big deal. But when they're just slightly out of reach, it's just like, do I sheath or do I freaking just walk over there? It's annoying. It's just like, god dang it. Makes me feel bad every time. But outside of that, like, everything else about the weapon feels great. I love it. But yeah, it's definitely up there for a potential, like, main thing. Yes, I am very indecisive about the weapons that I use. And I'll go order everything within each tier later. What the? What? What the? Oh. Ah. Apparently there was a seat. Hello? And yes, I can pick up the Palicos. I gotta say, it's really weird seeing the Palicos after playing like Monster Hunter for so long, and then I just like look over and like, oh, that's a Palico. And like my brain is very sensitive to like VRs. I'm like, oh shit. I've been playing Monster Hunter so long and that my brain's telling me that that's real. It's just so funny to me. Wait, why did I do that? Alright, anyway. Switch axe. Now, this weapon is not what I expected at all. It is very different. First of all, axe mode, actually pretty fast. It's on par with a lot of the faster weapons. Sword and shield off the top of my head. I forget what the other ones are. Probably insect glaive before the buffs. And maybe dual blades before they go into their demon mode. But yeah, this is actually kind of fast, which kind of shocked me. But generally, switch axe is weird because when it comes to execution, very, very basic stuff. This is basically what you're doing. This, and then bam. It's like, yeah, you can do this. Just, but I wouldn't recommend it because, like, when I tried it, the wild swing is really good, but the wild swing is so committal. Or not. I could have sworn you couldn't dodge out of it like that in World. That's a lot less committal than I thought. What the fuck? Maybe I need to go test this weapon out somewhere. That's not as committal as I remember. I could have sworn it was way laggier than that. What the heck? Alright then. So, not as committal as I remember. Well, snap. I just assumed, I guess. I was just assuming, but I guess you can just cancel that. Alright. Alright. Interesting. Okay. So your animation canceling with the dodges. Okay, we're learning something. I did 10 hunts. That would have changed everything. Oh my god. I am not a professional. Oh my god. Cause I swear I tried to test like the dodging out of the and lag of every other weapon, but I guess I forgot that with the switch axe. So yeah, really freaking nice. And then charge up your freaking sword mode. Wait, I thought that swapped into sword mode. But yeah, but now there is an attack that goes into swapping into the sword that you should be doing. I forget which one it is though. Again, it's been a hot minute because I think this was one of the older ones that I started the 10 hunts with. Because I was kind of curious about it. But yeah, now we're significantly slower. But you still have fast attacks. Really freaking love it. And I don't remember if this move was in World. I don't remember this move being in World, but I freaking love this. Ah. So satisfying. I love that. Bah. And there's something you can do that makes you do a triple slash, but that triple slash, like from this, doesn't do a whole lot different. But yeah, I just love spamming the that elemental discharge thing. What was the other one? Was it Unbridled Slash? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, I love that. And I think it gets, it swings more often the more your bar is filled. So it's very satisfying using this weapon. But that's basically the gist of this weapon. I didn't realize you could just dodge out of everything. So I guess that's more stamina management. I'm just so used to things not letting you dodge. There is a little bit of that with every weapon, of course, but this is like the biggest difference I've seen. Well, yeah. And this is the weapon I would prefer to use over the greatsword, because you still smacking things around with a greatsword, but you also get the feeling of buffing it up and such. And then you got an even faster move until you are ready to go do like the super strong sword moves. So I prefer the switch axe over the greatsword. Also, it's a smidge more complicated. Now that said, though, it doesn't have a guard like the greatsword, and I feel like I'm missing out not having a guard, because I normally don't play weapons with guards as much as the ones without guards. Because, you know, mobility. I love being mobile. Now that said, though, this thing does have offsets. I looked at it and it's like 80 offset with that attack, which is pretty nice. It's a lot easier to spam than like most of the other offset weapons. You can just do that at any point. Of course, the greatsword is still the king, because even uncharged is 75, and then it goes to 100, and then 150, and then 200 if I remember right. That's off the top of my head. So greatsword is still the king of offsets, but like this one is still really good just because you can spam it at any moment when you're in axe mode. And then when you're in this, you have a frickin' parry move. Where is it? Oh yeah. Not a rising slash for offsets, but this will counter things, which is very interesting. But yeah, very satisfying weapon. Now Charge Blade. I'm so annoyed. So many people were saying, it's the most hardest weapon. It's so complicated. Oh my god, it's so hard. Bro, you just smack a few times, and then you just charge your things. And this is the fastest way to charge. And then, bap. And then you got the charge move. It's been a hot minute. Boom. Elemental boost. And then once you have that, you can just charge your sword immediately. Oh, that's right. I forgot you have to time that. Boom. Very satisfying. That's not hard at all. It's just charge the shield, charge the sword. Boom, you're already done when it comes to those. And then wounds are very available in this game. So you can charge up the Savage Axe really easy, and that lasts a while. Boom. Yeah, it's just, and then you just charge. And you just keep on charging. And then you're pretty much all done. And that is definitely not the most optimal way to charge files at all. By a long shot. I'm just doing that just because I'm thinking of what else to say. So. Bah. But the one thing I really love about this weapon if you hold it down at the right time, it does like... Wait, does that only apply to the B ones? Or am I just timing it wrong? Oh, yeah. But I'm pretty sure the Savage Axe wasn't a thing in World. At least I never saw it from anyone when I played World. There we go. So the better you time it, the more little hits you get, and it's so satisfying. And if you can just hold it down a little bit before it hits, so it's a bit easier than it actually is. I'm making it like way harder than it needs to be. Boom. See? But yeah, and then you just got the element charge, or you can just do that. Bah. Use all of your files, even though I used them already. But yeah. Now, I probably would have mained this weapon on my first game, because it doesn't seem that bad, but everyone kept saying, don't play it, don't play it. It's too hard, it's too hard. And I'm just like, now that I've looked at it and it's just charge, shield, charge, sword, charge, files for axe mode. That's it. Yeah, there's guard points, but that's like an optional thing. And there's only a couple attacks that have guard points. I'm so miffed because I feel like this would have been my main weapon, but because people were fear-mongering it so much, it has a sour taste in my mouth. Still fun though, but I prefer other things. Also, the exhaust files on the switch axe and the impact files on the charge blade do make me want to use it a bit more because I love being able to stun things. And this is kind of a weapon I'd like to use for like tanking. Now that said though, if you don't get any wounds, it's really annoying. If the monster runs away from you constantly, it's annoying. It's just like, give me my freaking Savage Axe thing. So it's like, I feel like if it bothers you too much, you can just bring small barrel bombs and then just blow yourself up so you can get your stupid buff. Because monsters and players aren't letting you have your buff. It's really funny. Alrighty. Wonder how long this is going to be. Wait, actually, I want to talk about the Bowguns first. I want to talk about them together. I was going to do it like left and right pairs, but I got to talk about the Bowguns together. And then, I don't know, I'm just picking whatever the purple one is. It's a little hard to see in this headset, just a bit. And I need to freaking redo my stations because they're not looking at each other properly. But yeah. So, the Bowguns. Oh yeah, wait. Yeah, put this up here first. Oh, where would I put these? I definitely like the charge blade. That makes me feel so bad putting the greatsword down so low. That makes me feel so bad. It's the mascot of the freaking series. I feel so bad. But gosh darn it, I love all these other weapons so much more. And speaking of, it's just like the charge blade also feels kind of like the greatsword in another way. And I am addicted to like buffing and charging things, so you know what? Let me go put that out there a bit. Oh, it's so hard, man. Oh, I love them. I love them all. Let's see. I guess I'll order them a bit more later. I'll order them up a bit later. Okay, so Bowguns. My stuff stops messing up. There we go. Wait, I did do that, right? Yes, I did. So, light bowgun. I think it's fun. Now, that said, though, I've heard people complain so much about the light bowgun in this game. Because Wilds, like, it simplifies a lot of things, but they usually add some more moves to make up for that. Because focus increases things a lot, and then like the wound mechanics help a lot. The light bowgun got like the short end of the stick from Worlds to Wilds a lot, from what I hear, because they removed a lot of the customization, and it seems like they didn't really add anything for it. They did the chasers. Wait, am I being dumb? Did I have the wrong thing out? I'm dumb. Alright. Come on, controller. Work with me. Light bowgun. And then you. Alright. I already swapped it, right. Alright. Light bowgun. It did get one thing changed. You do that. And then you got chaser shots. Oh, well. I do love this mode, though. That's just satisfying. But that's all there is for the rapid fire mode. And then you swap to the other mode. This is your normal mode. And that's the one thing that I struggle with. Is like, I try spamming it, and the chaser shots don't come out. It's like, why? Why isn't it coming out? But yeah, that's basically all the bowgun gets. Is those 4 different shots basically. And they removed the melee. Why did they remove the melee? I don't know. I don't know what the input was for the melee. But at least you can do the melee when you're jumping. But that's just about it. You get no regular melee. It's just like, why would you? Why? Is it to stop people from just randomly hitting things on their first playthrough or something? Maybe they'll add it back now that like the game's been out for a little bit. It's just really weird. I don't really have much to say. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of like ammos and such, but like all the ammos I'm interested in, I feel like I have to pick one or the other. I can't have both. So it's a bit of a problem. So let's go take a look at all of the light bowguns that I have right now, just so you can take a peek at like what it's like. So yeah, there's like generally like 2 or 3 things that you can have, if I remember right, with the light bowguns, and then like the heavy bowgun is like 1 more type than the light bowgun. I generally prefer the heavy bowgun because the light bowgun, I gotta say, it's a pain in the booty to go, because it's very fast and you have to aim, but doing that on a controller really sucks. And I'm just using a regular controller. I don't have gyro controls in this. Splatoon spoiled me with gyro controls when you're using a controller to aim, because it makes it be on par with PC mouse aiming. It's just like, it sucks so much not being able to do it. So, I'm heavily biased when it comes to thinking that this is like the worst fun, the least fun weapon, I should say. Not worst fun. It's the least fun. It's still fun. But yeah, I generally prefer doing Pierce, though when I was fighting Ray Dow and trying to shoot off his wings to get materials, he kept flapping constantly. He moves so much. It's just, so like, there's a problem with ranged weapons in Monster Hunter. You have to be at a specific distance. If you're not in that specific distance, then your damage is just absolute doo-doo, and like, why are you even shooting at that point? So when they're flapping around and moving so much around, then it's a problem. Of course, I was fighting Ray Dow. He's kind of mobile, and I feel like other monsters aren't going to be that big of a deal, but I feel like when they get harder monsters in the game, it's probably going to become a big deal. So I feel like I don't like using the pure stuff for that. Normal is kind of like that, but normal feels like it doesn't do as much damage as the other two types. And then you got the spread where you can do tons of freaking damage. And you don't have to worry about aiming too much because you just have to be in the general vicinity of the monster. And then you'll just hit something that's really good. But at that point, you're in melee distance. Like, do you really want to be doing that with a ranged weapon? Just going up in there? I do love myself a good shotgun. But like, well, like, what are we doing here? Still though, shotgun fun is still fun. And then we get the heavy bowgun. I still like the light bowgun though. Just spamming the rapid fire is amazing. It's just run and gun fun. That's it. Now, why is that selected? Yeah. Ammo management is not that hard because you'll run out of ammo before the end of fights generally. Now that might be different with the elemental weapons, the elemental ammo, because I haven't used the elemental ammo. You have 40 shots, but I'm pretty sure the monsters won't die. At least if you're playing solo. If you're playing solo, they aren't gonna die that quick. Now that said though, like, damage is lower on ranged weapons in general compared to the melee weapons, which makes sense. They're ranged. So, is a bit of a problem, and you have to aim at specific locations. But I'm still, in general, not too impressed by the damage of the ranged weapons. That said, though, like, they do wreck house, though. They absolutely do wreck house, even though they do have that kind of handicap. It's like, they buffed the damage, just to make up for the fact that they get, like, 1 star less on most things, which I find kind of funny. Anyways, heavy bowgun. I love it. It feels so much more meaty and everything. And then we got pierce ammo for going through things, which does quite a bit more damage. I freaking love it. And then you got this spread, which not the same as light bowgun because you can't double shot it like the light bowgun, but it still knocks you back really freaking far. So it's like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I usually stick with normal if I'm feeling lazy, and then I do pierce if I want to actually do some more damage, because I'm probably gonna be doing that anyways. Because since you're so slow, you can't keep up with the monster, and it's jumping around all the time. And if you get like right up in the face, you can just like swap to this and then... Oh shit. Okay, maybe... Oh, does it... Oh. I feel dumb. Was I lazy and just stayed in... I must have just stayed in normal mode. Oh. But yeah, I guess it's been a hot minute since I've used the heavy bowgun. I could have sworn I used the pierce ammo, but I guess I just used the normal gun the whole time. But gosh darn, this is so satisfying. I love that so much. And bam. Oh yeah, both the bowguns have this for the wound killer. Yeah, I don't find that too fun. At least the heavy bowgun, it sits there for a bit and then it explodes. And it does help, like, you can pop the same wound as an ally when you do something like that. So that's nice. But yeah, overall, I prefer the heavy bowgun. It has more things going for it. Also, auto guard lets you play in easy mode. It's like, auto guard lets me know, like, some things are blockable without me even noticing, because you're just constantly blocking the entire time. So instead of thinking, oh shit, I got hit, I need to go heal, you just immediately see the attack that's hitting you as it's happening, as opposed to just like panicking about your health. So I do love the heavy bowgun for learning monster sets, or if I'm just so tired that I just want to frickin' pull something out. So, heavy bowgun is the weapon I use when I just want to play casually. Otherwise, well, I'm not using that. So, I feel like at this point, I gotta go talk about the bow. And then we'll talk about the insect glaive. What was I doing? Oh yeah, you can customize the bows, the bow guns a little bit, but yeah, I feel like the defaults are the most fun. Like the heavy bowgun has like the wyvern snipe, which like is a piercing shot. It's not like a one shot bam, which I thought. So it was a little bit disappointing, but it's still fun in its own way. I forget which one I liked the most. I don't know, I'll just use this one for now. Why not? I guess it doesn't really matter which one I use right now. But yeah. Now, when it comes to a ranged weapon, this is actually the one I'm going to be using. But before I start, let me go place the bow guns. Light bowgun, it needs some tweaks. It needs something. It is basic, and it's fine to be basic. I mean, look at greatsword. People love the heck out of the greatsword, but like I feel like it needs something. It just, I don't know what though. Maybe it's just me being bad. But yeah, heavy bowgun. Again, if I'm turning off my brain and not paying attention to what the monsters are doing, or I just want to watch my other friends go fight, heavy bowgun is a thing. It takes no thought process to use that weapon. And unlike the light bowgun, which it's really hard to go aim, you're at farther distances, so heavy bowgun is for turning off the brain with the long range and auto card. It's really, really dumb. So, now we got the frickin' bow. What is my Palico doing? Where are you? I hear you. What are you doing? Where are you? Why are you fighting? I hear him. He's fighting his inner demons. Alright. Anyway. The bow. First of all, we got a charge. Like the great sword and other things. But like you're very fast as well. And you can be slow whenever you want. Or you can just be fast. It's just like, oh, that's so great. Right there, already. And then it's kind of like a combo thing with this. You get like more arrows the further in the combo, if I remember right. I don't use that very much though. Because I'm addicted to two other moves because I'm a baddie. This one, which I hear no one uses when they're trying to speedrun. But gosh darn, that's fun. And I forget if it stuns people or if it exhausts them. But yeah, it does something like that. Because I was doing that to some monsters, but I forget which. Because exhaust and stun have a similar mechanic. So you can do that. And then you got this. Bam! I forgot there's the oh yeah, that's right. There's a wound there. And that's the wound eater. If there's any wound on the monster, people will hate bow users because the hailstorm just eats it. But I love the freaking homing shots because it reminds me of the long range missiles in the Mech Warrior games. I love watching things just like go to the side and bop. So you can just do something like bop, do it on the head, boom. I freaking love it. Oops, pressing the wrong button. And then, bop. It's so satisfying, man. But yeah, I love my long-range missiles in Mech Warrior, so doing that gives me a bit of a feeling like that. And then, again, this also gives me a feeling because you're still sieging the enemy from above with lots of little tiny projectiles. I freaking love it. But there's one move that I will be honest, when I played it mostly, I may have just been spamming this move because I really, I really like it. The Dragon Piercer. Very satisfying. I love moves that are like that in games. And I have a little video to show you because every time I shoot it, it reminds me of one particular moment from a game. Oh, can I not? Okay, there we go. It reminds me of something from Armor Core. Because every time I see the charge up animation.
Setting correction A-OK. 90, 95.
We love Rusty. We love it, Rusty. Bang!
Secondary shield down.
Yes. I think that every single time. So, it's just like... Oops. God dang it. Forgot my thinking messed with it. But yeah, just like... Boom. And you only need to shoot off the Rathalos tail once when it's attacking someone that was about to die once to just fall in love with that and always want to do that. I love that I can sever tails. And I break parts all the time with it. It's so freaking nice. Very fun. And it's very mobile. It has the perfect evade, just like the dual blades. It's very fast. You have something for every range. You can play multiple play styles with it. Oh, whoops. Bring it back. I forgot I had it there still. But yeah, you can have multiple play styles. You can be swift, use the quick arrow attacks, and move around as much as you want. You can be a siege type person with the arc shot, or you can just be a freaking sniper, which I feel like it feels more like a sniper than the heavy bowgun does. So that's very high up there. I really love the freaking bow. It's so freaking fun. And then, process of elimination. Insect Glaive's my main. This was the one that I used because people were fear-mongering the hunting horn as well, which made me not want to pick it up in World. So I didn't pick it up until like Wilds. And in World, the hunting horn was not really that bad. It was actually quite simple, but people kept fear-mongering it. But yeah. Anyways, the Insect Glaive. So, because the hunting horn was out of reach, supposedly, I decided to go do the other option that can heal people. And that was the Insect Glaive. Oh yeah, people were saying that the customization of the bowguns was too much for a beginner as well. So that also stopped me from doing the recovery ammo. Also, you're very limited on ammo for recovery, so that's the other reason why I didn't want to do it. And this also lets you have melee, unlike the bowguns. Because Monster Hunter is all about smacking monsters with big weapons. So yeah. But yeah. Wait, no, I'm dumb. I already have it on me. Come hither. So, I love this weapon so much. Already, I love its moves so much. Oh, that's very different from the buff version, the unbuffed version in World. Interesting. Because normally you still do the swings when you're in unbuffed in World, if I remember right. But yeah. One thing I always liked is just being able to just bring your weapon out while bringing him out. But yeah, I love the Kinsect friend because he will give you a little. You can send him out and he'll. Oh wait, duh. I pressed the wrong button. But yeah, you can have those out, and then you can always smack it get its effect. And that's how I was healing people in World. And I was having a good fun time with that. But like, I'm already kind of fast, and you see that my little bug friend got some stuff from me. It makes me go a little faster. There are 3 buffs that you can get. And now I got all 3 of them. The white one makes you go a little bit faster, so you're one of the fastest like moving characters. And then the red buff, in the old game, the red buff gave you the super powered moveset. Now you need all 3. But in this game, the red buff lets you charge an attack. And there's a second part. And that Rising Spiral Slash is super overpowered. At least in the lower difficulties, because you get to spawn wounds non-stop. On higher difficulties, I don't know if it's going to keep that, because I feel like the wounds don't spawn as much. But when you do the Spiral Slash, it usually makes wounds because it does so much damage, and then you get buffs while doing that at the same time. So even if you don't get any wounds from doing that, because usually you can just like do the Spiral Slash, hit that while you're still in the air, get your buffs, and then you can just do the whole thing all over again. And even if you don't, you can still just move around. Or, if you're fast enough, you can also see these little white marks and make one of those come out. I actually haven't tried doing that with the insect glaive yet, because usually I'm just too busy having fun spamming attacks. I haven't tried to like metafy this thing, because this weapon's just really fun. So yeah. Also, in the beta they didn't have it. I tried the beta for like 16 hours trying out all the weapons. I fought a couple things, but I was mainly just trying out the different weapons. And then the first hit of this, that can offset. If you have no buffs, it does 60 like offset, but 90 is like when you have all 3 buffs. So it actually has a higher value than the switch axe, which kind of surprises me. So you do have to charge it for a little bit. That said, though, this charge can be there while you're doing other things. And of course, I love the aerial gameplay. Funny thing, another thing that they added from the beta. Vaulting dance. That each time you do that, it does more damage. They added that from the beta into the full release. So, because so many people were complaining that like they removed the aerial gameplay from World, but now it's back and everyone loves the heck out of it. So that's really fun. Also, that's very good at mounting enemies. Also, since like all the monsters start with a value of 1 when you start a fight, you basically get a free mount at the beginning of every fight just doing that. That said, though, in Wilds, there's a heavy reduction to damage for other players when you mount. So they just have to just sit around, watch you do things to the monster when it's mounted. And while like I understand mounting was kind of overpowered in World, because I just kept on mounting monsters non-stop, and then my greatsword friends would just smack them in the face and they just die instantly. It needed some sort of nerf, but like reducing the damage of everyone else so it feels like they have nothing to do is, I don't know if that's the right way to go about it. They gotta do something. But I feel like a jerk every time I mount now, It makes me sad. Cause I don't know. Because like the monster does weird actions when they're mounted anyways. There's special animations and it does make it harder to go attack. So I feel like because they're flying about, you should still be rewarded for hitting them at all. But right now, unless if they patch it at some point, it's better to just like sharpen your shield, get buffed up and everything while someone's mounting. Which a lot of the time, well, right now, no one really needs to do because most of the game is pretty easy, unless if you're like at end game where people are getting one shot. But like when you're getting one shot, like you generally aren't gonna need the mounts at that point. But yeah. Very fun. So yeah, generally what I'll do is I'll just focus on getting buffs. Speaking of, I have to like do claw grip for doing this. That way I can like aim at it. And I guess I can just do that, but like, oh wait, I do have to do that because oopsies. Sorry, having fun. I do love that you can change its direction after you send it out. Alright, I guess you don't have to press left trigger for that. I'm so used to that not being the case, though. I forget which weapon makes me worry about that. But yeah. Anyways, you have to hold right trigger, and then you have to hold Y, and then you have to aim with the right, all while you're moving with the left. So it's like you have to hold the thing in a weird way. And if you want to hold offset at the same time, like I need another finger. I need another finger. Like, how am I supposed to hold Y, B, and aim and move? It's just like if it was just like these four buttons, I could do that. But like, how am I supposed to walk and aim at the same time? I need more buttons. Clearly, I gotta do the armor core thing and just like reverse grip the controller. But yeah, a lot of people are complaining about that because that's kind of hard to do. But yeah, I love being able to do that. Yeah, buff management. You get to be fast. You get strong attacks that you can charge. Like, this thing has a little bit of everything. Like, the main thing that this thing can't do is do guards. So you're going to be missing out on clashes. But everything else, like, the insect glaive can do a little bit of it. You got melee gameplay. This isn't really like a ranged weapon in the normal sense, but you're still, like, aiming at something and shooting. Bam. But yeah, usually what I'll do is I'll get a blunt beetle, have it hit the head, so it helps people up front, and I'll just like start attacking from the side. And then when it's about to run out, I'll call it over by starting a charge. What the heck? Did they change it in a patch? What the fuck? The other day I was testing this, and I'm just like, I'm gonna spam the heck out of this, and then the bug kept on coming back, and now it's not. What the fuck? Did they make some changes in the recent patch? What the heck? But yeah. Uh-oh. There goes my tracking. But yeah. But yeah. Well, now that I know that, I'm just gonna keep on I'm gonna do what I initially intended, is hit it up there, and then try to do this to offset attacks. What the heck? Maybe I was accidentally pressing a button or something, and it's calling it back. But yeah, you can have him healing you as you're trying to perform offsets when the monster is attacking. Because this offset, that's decently fast. You do have to charge it a little bit, which is a bit of a problem when you want to press Yeah. Because charging and pressing Y while trying to aim is kind of a problem. Oh yeah, another addition that they added into this game that I really love. When you use focus mode, the Kinsect fights with you. So I generally do that as I'm fighting, and you get the buffs really easily that way. So yeah, I freaking love the insect glaive. So, now that we've done all of that, let's try to order these a little bit. I'm afraid to look at the time because I feel like I've been having a little too much fun with these weapons. Yeah. I might go move that up. Light bowgun's the only weapon I don't see myself ever using. Heavy bowgun, it might become a secondary. Just be like, okay, I need to back up. This guy's too tough. I need my shield in range. I'll just watch what he's doing for a bit. Then I'll go back to my main weapon. I feel like that's what I could do with the heavy bowgun. Light bowgun, it may be simple, but like certain monsters are too hard. Other monsters I feel like it'll trivialize. So I don't know. I don't have a reason to use the light bowgun as like a secondary weapon. As a main weapon, sure, but it's very basic, and I don't know if I like that compared to like all these other weapons that have so many different moves for different situations. But yeah. So let's see here. That really makes me feel so bad. Is greatsword really? Is that really my least favorite melee weapon? That sounds wrong. That sounds so wrong. It's funny because I think I liked the greatsword back in World. I mean, that is a thing. Because in this game, everything's so much more mobile. That it really does change up how everything is. In greatsword, like, since you can just use the focus to change where you're aiming, it makes it feel more fun to go like use, but at the same time you lose the commitment that like the greatsword is known for, so it doesn't feel as impressive as it used to be. So it's a bit of a problem. Longsword, I don't know. I feel like I should love the longsword. It's just outside of the helm splitter, I just don't really care about the attacks too much. Oh yeah, also the sheathing attack, that's kind of fun. But yeah, which is weird because you think I would like it because I play Sephiroth as my main character in Smash. He's got a longsword. He's got the longest of longswords, the Masamune. It's like ridiculously long. But yeah. But I don't know, maybe I just had a bad like first impression with like the longsword or something. Maybe I just don't want to be seen as a weeb. But you gotta remember, Monster Hunter's a weeb game. And the longsword is the most weeb of them all. Again, that's why like the longsword's so popular. You get to do like over the top cool shit. And then let's see. But yeah, Lance, definitely love the heck out of the Lance. And the Gunlance, also explosive. I just have to get past the one thing where like I have to be okay with the fact that sometimes the monster will just sidestep just a tiny bit, just a little bit, just out of your reach, just to be like, oh, do I walk or do I sheath? So that's definitely the lowest in that section, but like that's definitely a contender to be one of my favorites. Bow is definitely really high up there because I play a lot of the mech games, and I find it funny that like the bow makes me think of mech games more than the gun lance. You think it'd be the other way around, but yeah. Hunting horn, I love because it really is the team carry weapon because you have to use like a lot of like you're basically playing like the great sword in terms of your attacks, but you have to manage so many things that you're not paying attention to the monster as much. But you still have to, though. It's just like the hardest weapon in the game to just play. Now, when it comes to speedrunning, I'm sure it's all different for all these weapons, but like just to regularly play on like a regular basis, like the hunting sword is like the hardest weapon easily. But like, I don't know. It does trivialize the game with all those buffs, so I don't know if it's worth it, because I feel like I'm changing the game for everyone who's in the same game as me whenever I bring the hunting horn. And that's a bit of a problem. And besides, when it comes to being supportive and stuff, I can still be a Mushroom-mancer on any weapon, and it'll still do really fine. After all, like, the most important thing is making people stay alive. If they're not dead, then they can do damage. Sword and shield. God dang it. Sword and shield is really fun. It's just, it has a little bit of everything, and that's why I love the insect glaive, is it does a little bit of everything. But sword and shield is a lot more basic, but it's also like kind of overpowered in my experience when using it. It is so easy to just wreck things with it. But you do so much more damage doing the perfect rush. But I don't want to be doing perfect rush all the time. Perfect rush is really a really cool move, but like I want to be doing other things. And it's just so much fun to slide around with it. I think I'll put that down a little bit. Yeah. Again, it all depends on if I can deal with the frickin' monsters just stepping slightly outside of my reach with the Gunlance. Dual blades. I don't think I could ever like main dual blades, because being a blender, that's kind of like what the insect glaive does. Not as much as the dual blades, but it does it enough. And then sometimes the dual blades feels like it's going a little overkill. I do love doing the dual blades thing, but like, oh my god, it feels a little overkill sometimes. That said, though, the blenderizing moves are a little committal. So I could just spam like the normal attacks if it really bothers me that much. Because I don't know if you're gonna have to with harder fights. It all depends. But yeah, fun. Hammer, yeah, definitely lower. Switch axe. Ooh, these ones are the ones that are hard. You know what? Charge blade. But would I main them though? I'm gonna do this action. Yeah. Would I main these two? I mean, I do love transforming stuff a lot. I like being able to swap up my thing. Though to be fair, we can swap our weapons in wilds. It may take a hot minute, but you can swap weapons. Switch axe. Ooh. I'm just wondering if I should move the morphing weapons up or not. Thing is with the switch axe, it's like my brain is so like dead set on I have to be able to do everything. But sometimes you just gotta remember, sometimes you just gotta have fun just doing the thing. Also, Dual blades and switch axe, if I remember right, people keep on saying that they do insane damage. That could be the trade-off for them not really having anything special about them. Like, dual blades, it has the perfect evade, and then not worrying about flinching. Switch axe. The problem with the flinching thing is that, like, any weapon can put on brace, and brace only takes, like, one skill slot, and it doesn't even have to be a big one. That said, though, I've realized that small slots are still nice to have, and not everyone has, like, maxed out slots. Every weapon can be a main. Just put everything up there. I'm gonna give the charge blade another shot. I do feel like that should be like my default go-to. I definitely prefer it over the... I don't know. Sword and shield or charge blade? Like, very fast, no commitment versus sluggish and all the commitment and heavy reward. Kind of hard to pick between those two. Oh dear. I think... Also, in light of the fact that I know I can dodge so early in the switch axe, I thought you would have to do it towards the end. But since that's so early, that's going up a lot. Ooh. So I think the super elemental discharge is kind of nice. Also, the fact that you have to time and hold the button at the right time with the charge blade is really fun. That is very addicting, and I don't think any other weapon does that. And I am stealing that if I ever get around to like making games or anything like that, because that is so freaking satisfying. I haven't seen that anywhere else, and I don't know why. Yeah. The bow. Hunting horn. That's the problem. It's like, part of me is always going to be like a support person. Oh, fuck. Hey. Maybe as a pocket or something. It's just like hunting horn changes up the game too much. It changes the game up way too much for everyone. With all these other weapons, I can just focus on myself. But like, hunting horn changes the game so much that I feel like it might ruin the experience for other people. But like, it's also feels really amazing to get those buffs, because oh my god, it feels great. Because anytime I see like a hunting horn player, I'm like, oh my god, this feels amazing. Anytime I see their buffs, and especially if they heal, it's very nice. And it feels so weird to be on the receiving end of like someone that heals all the time, because usually I was the one to do that all the time, but then I get healed. I'm like, oh my god, this is a weight lifted. I can just focus on the freaking monster more. So I feel like there might be a permanent secondary. Probably what I'll do is just unless if I get a horn without Horn Maestro, I'll probably just use the horn for a little bit. Go for like half the buff time using the horn, and then once the half time is over, swap over to the other weapon and use the remaining 2 minutes to have fun with a buffed weapon. But yeah. And it's hard. And then Insect Glaive has a little bit of everything. But then like the freaking bow, I gotta remember, it's like you don't have to do everything. Oh, god dang it. I like speed. Let's be honest here. I gotta try these again. I'll give those 3 another shot. But like, I like being mobile. But like, I feel like I need to use a slow weapon, to get like the more of the Monster Hunter vibe. But we'll see. Yeah. Well, I've been talking a lot. I think that's my like tier list of like most fun to least fun. Yeah. I don't know. Bow could become the next main. Because again, you have a low commitment style that's very fast, a somewhat committal play style, and then you got the very heavy commitment sniping style. So I love that. And then Insect Glaive, friggin', you get the aerial gameplay, you got the ground gameplay, and you got the Kinsect management. So 3 different play styles in one. And like both of these weapons you can swap between constantly. So if I'm not bringing the hunting horn, I'm probably going to do Insect Glaive and Bow. Because they're just very fun. The only problem is Insect Glaive is so mobile anyways that like, why are you using the bow for? Because like, you can close the distance so quickly. So I feel like it'd be better to pick something else, but yeah. That is my tier list of how I think everything is for like how fun they are. Yeah. So I'll see you later.